Humans, it's been a while. Life did the life thing. This is an interesting period in my life. My son, who was approaching 21 years old, moved out of the house for the first time. And he's been in college, but he's moved into a home closer to college with some roommates, all for the first time. And I'm adjusting to that. It has been a much more emotional experience. I found myself, I found myself crying the morning he was leaving, not in front of him. It was important to me not to make this a big emotional transition. I wanted to be, we're very close. So there was no need for me to tell him I loved him, although I did, but it was never this big sense of urgency and I'm going to miss you so much and I can't believe you're leaving. And I didn't want to do all that. I wanted us to focus on moving through the process, and we did, and he coordinated it and did it all. Very proud of him. But as I walked through the grocery store, as I did the other morning, and I'm filling up my cart with the things that I want, but I'm always looking for the things that my children want. Their favorite snacks, their favorite foods, the things I want to make for them. And I no longer needed to buy his favorite foods. He's doing that. And I'm so proud of him. And proud of myself for having I watched a pair of robins, the birds. On my front porch, robins had built a nest this year in the spring, and they laid some eggs, and I saw these two robins, this mother and this father, build this nest, and then sit on those eggs and tend to those eggs, and then feed those babies once they hatched. I saw it from beginning to end. It was within just a few feet of me, and I would often sit on my front porch and just watch them, sometimes for an hour. They were very, very busy. They would go off, and the parents would go off and search for worms, and the chicks always seemed to know when the parents were coming back with their mouths loaded with worms, and they would start chirping in anticipation of their parents' arrival. And then they'd get their necks up and the mouths open, and here comes the mama bird, the daddy bird. They fly in and they'd throw food into their mouth, put worms into each of their mouths. There were 4 of them. That happened twice this year. That same nest hosted that process twice. So 2 different parents. I don't think that one set of parents will birth 2 sets of chicks. So I think it was, I may be wrong, but I believe that these were 2 different sets of parents, 2 different broods of new baby robin chicks that are out in the world. And I thought, as I watched that process, I thought about myself. There are no mistakes. These coincidences, often, if you don't pay attention, they often seem very random or disconnected. It's all connected. There was no mistake that I was sitting there staring at this thing that I was about to face. And that was the story of my life. I was watching the story of my life unfold in miniature. I bought this house over 30 years ago. It was my nest. I made it a nest. We brought children into this world. chicks, and we fed them and tended to them and nurtured them. And now the first one has flown away. My second one will fly away next year. Is this a racial thing? Am I describing how white people feel about their children moving out? It's a human thing. Black parents, Asian parents, Hispanic parents, European parents, African parents, Caribbean parents, South American parents, parents of every color and ethnicity are familiar with this exquisite agony.
Oh, my baby. Baby.
It's a human thing. That's all I want to share. Peace.